Got a letter from someone named Deborah Camp, whom my mother used to work with, and she remembered me from when Mom was there when I was a teenager. She helped me more than she'll ever know, and I want to thank her for that. But there is a specific quote she left in here. It kind of meant a lot to me because me and my kids had something about stars. And stars are a big thing for us. They're still a big thing for me. But the quote is, "When it is dark enough, you can see the stars." Now, the reason this is so important is I had asked for my Twilight book to be brought to me. I let Cammie draw a picture on. I gave her the book to, it was hard surface, and she was trying to learn how to draw stars. And after I looked at this quote, read this quote, I looked over at that book, and from the way the reflection was, you could see stars indented into the book. She had pressed down very hard on a few of them, and there were 3 little stars. And so, I don't know if you want to call it kismet or fate or what, but it gave me hope.
Now, a mother accused of trying to kill her children and then herself will stay behind bars and far away from her kids.
A 30-year-old mother is in the Grady County Jail tonight on suicide watch.
Police say Rebecca Koehler tried to kill herself and her son and daughter at a Chickasha hotel.
No one knows why Rebecca Koehler came to this Best Western with her 2 children, especially since she lives just a mile down the road. But these police documents state it was her 9-year-old son who actually called for help after they had all taken a fistful of pills. This was the room Rebecca Koehler was staying in with her 9-year-old son and 6-year-old daughter. Police say inside room 172, they found a suicide note that read, "I'm so tired of living, and the only escape is death."
In a suicide note, investigators say Rebecca wrote, quote, "I am trying to protect 2 precious children caught in the middle."
When help arrived to the hotel, both Koehler and the children were showing signs of an overdose.
Investigators say the mother told her kids to take the pills so they could be together forever, but now it may be a long time before she gets to see them again.
Court papers go on to reveal Rebecca contemplated killing both herself and her children for at least a few months, but that it had taken her a year to do it.
Rebecca Lynn Koehler walked quietly back to her jail cell after a judge awarded custody to the father of her 2 children.
At first I thought somebody was playing a bad joke on me.
Warren Koehler was in class when he got the phone call that Rebecca checked into a hotel with their 2 kids, gave the children and herself multiple pills, and told them they'd be together forever. The couple has endured a lengthy custody battle, but did Warren ever think she was capable of this?
Part of me wants to say yeah, part of me wants to say no. Just you gotta keep our eyes on them and make sure they're gonna be okay. That's my biggest journey ahead right now.
As her van is towed away, many are left wondering why this mother did not try to reach out to someone for help.
And therefore supporting a verdict of not guilty by reason of insanity.
Okay, this is the road. I have to walk down. There's a view of the mountain. There's a convenience store with a car wash there. Yeah, it's a pretty poplar-lined little road. It is pretty. I'll give it that. And see how slick it is. Muddy, 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 muddy. Dirt roads. I like dirt roads though. But this is where I am. Fun, fun, fun. Oh, but there's this really pretty view. Wait for it. If I can get it on this camera phone thing. It's just gorgeous. But you can see the mountains in the background. It's so pretty. And there's that really cool looking house that looks kind of like a barn. Way back there. But it is so cool. But yeah, this is where I am. For all that it's worth, see, there's that house in the mountains. It's so pretty. I want a real camera. I don't want just a camera phone. I want a real camera. But
Yeah, this is it. There's the view from where we just came. There's that house. I love that house. I want that house. What house like it? Okay, I'm gonna stop this one. I'll get another one. But see, there's where I live. I don't know if you can see all the people milling around on here. Kind of a smaller screen, I can't really tell. That's where I have like the day treatment junk from 8:30 in the morning till 3:45 in the afternoon. Oh, I'm gonna have to show the animals. Animals. Can't be used to say animals. So, I'll do that on another video. But I'm gonna go, so I don't follow my ass over here with this Med Pedal Central, like I did when I was leaving, because I went to get coffee. Coffee. Need caffeine. Don't have yours set yet. Fighting migraines 24/7. Okay. Show y'all another video in a little bit. Bye. Okay. I have on no makeup. My hair's not done. I don't know. I don't care. Somebody told me I was beautiful without makeup, so I guess I'll go with that. But I wanted to do another vlog. I've been hurting the past few days. My back's been out, so I hadn't done anything. Anyway, I kind of want to go into the fact that nobody out there, unless they've experienced this, knows what an NGRI is. They don't know what it's like to be not guilty by reason of insanity. I know before all of this, I used to think, that meant you're off. You're completely off. You don't have to have anything else. You can go home. It doesn't. It doesn't mean nothing like that. I am the only person who's ever completed the entire program at the Oklahoma Forensics Center in as little time as I did. It was 3.5 years. It's been a total of 4.5 years because I was in county jail for a year before I went to OFC. But nobody out there, unless you have a family member, unless it's been you, can understand just what it is, because I know I didn't. And I know going into this that I expected the people that are in GRI to be monsters, to be so completely and totally whacked out of their minds that they're not normal, decent human beings. But I was wrong, as I know a bunch of the public is wrong in their perceptions. These are people that for whatever reason had something happen. They had something that was beyond their control, whether it was due to mental illness like schizophrenia, bipolar, some kind of just a random act of psychosis, medication reaction, which is what mine was. I was on Ambien. That wasn't out there in the media. That wasn't mentioned. Ambien was a huge and major player in my case. Co-defendant, if you want to go that far. These people aren't monsters. I have met so many loving, kind, awesome human beings who are in GRI, and they're not who the media painted them out to be at all. These are my friends, and never would I have ever thought that I would have listed these people as my friends, considering the crimes that they committed. But you have to understand, that was not them. That was a person that either was not on medication, or was on a medication they had a reaction to, like me, or else somebody that they were on drugs, they were on substance abuse, they had substance abuse issues. It's not the person I knew from OFC. That is a person that the media painted as a monster. And we all know that the limelight, the media, can put a really bad cast on people. But I want everybody out there to know and to understand that these people could be wonderful contributing members of society. There is no reason for you to hold grudges or hatred towards them. They're victims just as much as you are. I know this from experience. I want to kind of explain a little bit. These videos, I'm trying to basically do like a day in the life type thing, or I'm trying to document this, trying to show everybody out there what this is, what being in GRI is, the program, discussing the people I've met, discussing the troubles I've had. But that is my goal here. I have no other goal. I want to help others who have been through this. I want to help everybody who suffers from a mental illness or who's had a psychotic reaction from medication like me. And I want to show everybody in the world that just because of one day, because of one event, that's not that person. Just because somebody was on Chantix or Ambien or got a hold of some bad meth, or because they were mentally ill and it wasn't under control, or because of their thyroid going out and that creating problems for them. You can't judge somebody on one day. Not with a mental illness. You can't. You have people with a lifetime of good days. 50 years of good days. 30 years of good days. 25 years of good days and one bad day, and you're going to mark them for the rest of their life because of something that happened that was beyond their control. No, that's not the way you should. Going into this, before all this time 5 years ago, I never would have thought I'd have the opinion I do. But having met the people I've met, dealing with the things I've dealt with, it's completely changed my perspective. And I think that a lot of you, if you would open your hearts and minds, and if you would put yourself in our shoes, it would change yours. And that's the goal here. I'm trying to change everybody's opinion. I'm trying to put this out in the open. You can't do that after you've been through it. Yeah, I couldn't have a camera or a phone or internet at OFC, but guess what? I can here. And so this is the point where I'm starting. And I'll fill in everything for the past 4.5 years in the other videos. Yeah, and do you hear the idiot crowing like a chicken? This is what I dealt with. Anyway. That's my goal. That's what I want to do with these. I want to bring awareness.
This is my room. This is my side. There's my hats, my masks, my scarves I've made, coats, closet, blah, blah, blah. That is my lavender plant. Well, it was Robert's. Robert. He took a small piece off of one of the main lavender plants and he grew this for me and made the little holder. And then this is, of course, a bedpan. Because it leaks, it's got holes in the bottom so it'll drain, and I need to water it. I need to get another pot, but because it's getting pretty big. It was really small at first, but it's my lavender, and of course my notebook, my journal has like pieces of lavender in it from him that he'd bring me. But this is my picture collage. And of course, Cammie's Fluffy. I have slept with this thing for over 3 years, about 3.5 years now. So I can't sleep without it, I can tell you that. Yes, I'm a 34-year-old baby.
Okay, so this is the cemetery. That is a really cool house that I like so much. So that fence is the fence that's on our properties on the other side where the boarding home is. Actually, look at that old oak tree. Oh my gosh, it is so cool. All these old stones. They're so awesome. Just to be able to just come here and kind of relax, you know? I mean, it's Halloween, and where am I? I'm in this cemetery. But this is a lot of freedom. A lot of freedom for me after everything that's happened, after everything I've been through. This is peaceful. It's not creepy. It's peaceful. You'd think it'd be creepy. It's not. It's peaceful, and it's soothing in its own way, I guess. Perfect place for me to go and write. because I will. This will probably be my saving grace. Keep my sanity. But I grew up coming to cemeteries when I was a kid, coming up with stories. Not much has changed in 25 years, I guess. I guess just the spot, the town. Anyway, this is it.
Come on, open it! Open it! Open it! I see! Come on! Open it! Here, Daddy. Yeah. Open it! Come on! Let's see! Little shoesies. I love her little feetsies. Her little ballerina tutu and her ballerina zippers. Yeah, ballerina zippers. Well, you open it? Come on, open it! Oh, look! Oh, it's a SpongeBob!
Oh, God.
A SpongeBob! Ah! Yay! Oh my gosh, that is so cute. Okay. First of all, I went to Chickasha for the first time in 5 years and stayed for a week. It was supposed to be 5 days, but God decided to send an ice storm. So I got iced in an extra couple of days. There was a lot of work involved in me being able to go to Chickasha, and I really wanted to do this to kind of thank everybody who had a part in it. Thank you especially Amy Howell. I am so sorry that I am way more trouble than I am worth. I'm sorry your car broke down in Poto and we had to ride in that tow truck all the way from Poto to Chickasha. But it's an adventure, and like I said, it's probably something I'll put in a book, so maybe it'll pay off someday, hopefully. Anyway, it was adventurous. It was fun being stuck at the Poto Walmart for 3.5 hours. I hope you sense the sarcasm there. Anyway, at least the ride back was smooth, even though I dropped my phone in the toilet. Yeah, that was fun. Anyway, thank you, Amy. Thank you, Fred, for loaning her to me and letting your wife drive 4 hours to pick me up and 4 hours to bring me back. I appreciate it. And thank you to Curtis and Tamara. Thank you so much for letting me stay with you. I don't know what I would have done without you guys. Thank you for the food. And Tamara, you are an awesome cook. I don't care what Curtis says. You cook great. I'd never had anything that was even inedible. It was all delicious. Now, you know, you gotta think of the food I've been eating, but then again, you know, you're a good cook. Don't worry. Curtis, thank you for being a big brother to me. Thanks for supporting me. Most of all, I've always known you were a wonderful dad. But getting to spend a week with you guys and seeing how incredible you are with Katie, but with Evelyn, you are an amazing dad. Never stop, because I'll tell you that does a lot more for a little girl than anything, money, anything. Having a good father figure to look up to, and to see that that is the type of person that that little girl one day is going to want to marry, because you set a really good example. And for somebody who grew up with a million different father figures and lost the biggest one, which is 15, that's a big thing. And that leaves me with the last. I want to say thank you to my little sister, to Angela. Thank you for letting me spoil your children. I love them. And I'm so happy that you let me see them, that you let me spend time with them, let me spoil them. Thank you so much. Thank you for my pictures. I have been going through them since I got back. then showing them off to everybody, pictures of the kids, pictures of Connor and Piper and everything. And thank you so much for keeping those safe for me, because I feel like I have part of my life back. At least I've got the memories, at least I have that, and that means more to me than any money, than any gift, than anything. Those memories do, and being able to spend time with the kids do. And thank you so much. I love you. I love all of you. But I'm an emotional bull bag right now. But I just wanted to say thank you to everybody who's done anything to help me, to support me. You have no idea what that does, because there are times that I do sit here and think I don't deserve help. I don't deserve any of it. And the fact that I do have people that sit there and say, yes, you do deserve a second chance, that we know the type of person you are, and for accepting whatever apology, anything I can try to do to make up for anything that happened. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go because it's freezing cold and I'm crying. My face is not liking it. But I wanted to do this. It was important to me too. But okay, I look like shit. I just got out of the shower. I've had a very rough 2 freaking days. I'm sick as a dog. I've got strep and I'm on the wrong antibiotic, so my throat hurts. So if I sound really raspy, I'm sorry. But I needed to do this. I really don't like making friends because, in this situation, because, you know, you do move on. But I did. Met an annoying pain in the butt. Little blonde-headed 21-year-old that flirted with me, had the biggest crush on me, has the biggest crush on me. He's 14 years younger than me. I mean, it's flattering, it really is, and it does kind of help your self-esteem some, but the thing is he never pushed it. He was always a gentleman. He was a friend. Despite what feelings he thought he had for me or whatever, he put that aside and he was there for me. He had my back every day. I nicknamed him Cougar Bait because he seemed to always go for older women, and older women, there's a couple of them around here that would kind of go for him, and he didn't want them. But anyway, so that's how he got nicknamed Cougar Bait. And if anybody out there who knows me knows that I will either nickname you or I will call you mine. My so-and-so, my such and such, you know. Those are what I do when I care about somebody. And this kid wheedled his little manipulative way into my life. And he's made me smile. He's made me laugh. He's kept me out of the dumps sometimes. Cougar Bait's here because Cougar Bait just got out of prison because he was drug trafficking when he was at a young age. His father started having him help him cook meth. Cougar Bait did not have a proper environment to grow up in, and I keep sitting here thinking, man, if this kid, he looks like your average Abercrombie and Fitch dude. He's preppy. He's preppy looking. You would not look at him and know this kid has been hooked on drugs since he was 12. You wouldn't know it. And the thing is, the state of Oklahoma has perpetuated this cycle. They do not invest in our children for mental illness, for mental health, for education. They constantly cut budgets, don't have the appropriate teachers, don't have the appropriate resources for these children, and this is what happens. They go to prison when they're 18 for cooking meth with their father. DHS is not properly looking into these homes with these parents with drug charges. Yet, you over... God, okay, I'm not going into there. Friday night, I had a conversation with Cougar Bay, which he was so upset Friday. He was so upset he had court. He was so upset. He told me he was depressed. I tried and tried and tried to get him to sit down and talk to me. I did. He wouldn't do it. He was just pacing. He was arguing with somebody else about the drugs, and my thing is, I don't tell on people. I won't unless somebody's life is in danger or somebody gets hurt. I'm not going to say a word about anything at all. I take my secrets to the grave. Well, guess what? He's hurt. He's in a fucking coma. Pardon my language. Saturday morning, they had to do CPR on him, resuscitating him. He aspirated vomit into his lungs. And I wasn't over there. I'm sick. I've been in bed. I've been in bed sick all weekend. And Friday night, he called me at about 10 o'clock. He had the munchies because he's doing drugs with his friends. And I don't have any munchies because I don't have the money to buy munchies. I don't have the money to do any of this. And I told him that. And he said, he just kind of laughed and he said, well, I still love you anyway. And that might be the last thing I ever hear from him. Because he OD'd Saturday morning. They took him to the hospital. He's on a ventilator. He has double pneumonia because of the aspiration into his lungs. I've heard different stories from different people, and I don't know what to trust, but I've been asking for prayer, and hopefully it's working, because the last thing I heard from somebody, because we're all in contact with his mom, was that he's stable right now, and he's very sedated, heavily sedated. I want to kick somebody's ass. I really do. I want to kick somebody's ass. I have been so angry all weekend over this. I mean, and there's so many people to blame, and of course him. I mean, yes, he's 21, he can make his own decisions, yada yada yada, but he was upset, he was depressed over court. He has mental illness, he has mental health issues. Instead of dealing with those issues in this state, they criminalize mental illness. They criminalize drug addictions, because I guarantee you the majority of drug addiction problems are because a person with a mental illness is self-medicating. And a lot of the times it's because they don't want to have to admit to somebody that they've got a problem, because guess what? Then they're stigmatized. You want to live with a red letter on your chest for the rest of your life? No, they don't. That's how a lot of these drug addictions begin. They're not getting the proper help, they're not getting the proper care, they're not getting the proper medications because they're afraid to. And why shouldn't they be? I mean, they're talking about taking away people's rights to bear arms and all this and that and the other. You can't do that. Somebody who's mentally ill is more likely to hurt themselves or have somebody else hurt them than for them to hurt somebody. You can't sit there and criminalize mental illness. You cannot give people with mental illness a bad name. There are circumstances. That's what the NGRI law was created for. Do not treat us like criminals. Don't treat anybody like criminals. Get the help, the treatment they need. Don't punish people. Don't sweep it under the rug. Don't do all these budget cuts. Yeah, you're really helping with the budget cuts. Who are you helping? Yourself. You're lining your pocket. Politicians up there, you guys could take about a 50% pay cut and still be in the upper class. Not even middle class. None of your salary should be above a middle class salary. You're supposed to be doing a service to the people.
You're not supposed to have some six-figure salary. You're serving the people. This is a responsibility. You shouldn't be paid an exorbitant amount of our tax dollars for that. That money should go to the teachers, the firefighters, the police officers, the ones that fight this battle daily. You need to put more money into education. Mental health. This state is broken. This country's broken. And things like this, what happened to Cougar Page, are too common of a story, and they should not happen. I have been here for 4 months. And in that 4 months, I have tolerated a lot. I am Messianic Jewish. And if you don't know what that means, you know, I would suggest you Google it. Big thing you need to know is, to me, it's kind of a mesh between Christianity and Judaism. And it's something that I really am very certain about. When all this happened, when I was in county jail, I read the Bible, of course. You know, you're kind of stuck there. You nothing to do but read. I read the whole Bible again from cover to cover, Old Testament, New Testament. Came across a chapter with Daniel, and I sat there and thought, you know what? Why not? God, if you get me through this, well, not if you get me through this, but until I get through this, I will eat kosher. I can't do just vegetarian because my protein levels are always so low that it wouldn't be healthy for me. So I decided to go kosher, which that's an option a lot of Messianic Jews I know do. And I figured that it was a time in my life that I really needed to get back to God. I really needed to do as he says. And so I, about 4.5 years ago, started eating kosher and made a promise to God that I would do so throughout this whole ordeal. I'm still stuck in it. I may be out of OFC. I may have a phone and a little bit more of a freedom. I mean, just, which that's debatable that it's more freedom. But I still have that promise to God that I will eat kosher till I'm through this, because it's not over yet. God only knows if it will be over ever, but it's not over yet. And so I'm still keeping my word to God. Lately, the past 4 months have been the most difficult of this whole ordeal. I mean, I don't even know that even county jail was as difficult to me. Having to go through this, having to be ripped away from the friends and family I made over the past 3.5 years, to be placed into this part of the country that didn't even know what a Jew was. Had no idea, thought that I even worshipped a different God. Basically thought I was a pagan, didn't believe in God or Jesus. With Messianic Judaism, you do believe in Jesus. You do believe he is the Savior. It's a mesh. Like I said, it's a mesh of Christianity and Judaism. Yeah, but I get down here. They didn't know what kosher was. They didn't know what Judaism was. They didn't know anything. And I feel like for the past 4 months, I've been going through a forced conversion. They don't agree with my religion. They don't agree with my views. They don't even know what my religion or views are. They just know it's different than theirs. It's alien to them. So therefore, it is not safe. And to them, it is not going to happen. I've not been given a kosher diet. It's been touch and go. Sometimes I'll get a cheese sandwich with a little tiny piece of processed cheese in place of bologna sandwiches, ham sandwiches, and stuff that they serve all the time. For the most part, though, I get absolutely no protein. I get absolutely no protein at breakfast. Half the time, I don't even get a protein at lunch. If I do, like I said, it's a little tiny piece of processed cheese. At dinner, depending on who's working or doing what, I don't get protein. I went a day and a half, this is just in the past couple days, without any protein. None for breakfast, none for lunch. I got a chef salad that was nothing but bagged lettuce and carrot shavings with some black olives in it. No boiled egg. Of course, couldn't have the tiny little diced ham pieces that they put in there for everybody else. No boiled egg, no nothing, no chicken, no anything for a substitute. Just that and ranch dressing, saltine crackers, piece of cake. That's all I'm eating. I'm eating nothing but carbs. If I get vegetables, it's like that much vegetables on the plate. No protein. It's nothing but carbs. I do not have the money to supplement my diet anymore. I've used all the money that my uncle has sent me that was supposed to last me for 6 months because I have been supplementing my diet because I don't get protein. They get every penny of my Social Security money, any food stamps I would get from DHS, any money I would get from DHS. And they're not even feeding me. They're pocketing that money. They're not using it to feed me properly. And I'm done. I am done. I'm sorry, I am going to push this. Because I deserve to eat good food, nutritional food. I deserve to have protein in my diet. I deserve to have the blood tests I need every 3 months to measure my protein levels, to measure my potassium levels, to measure my thyroid levels. That needs to be done every 6 months. I'm not getting it. I'm not getting to go to the neurologist. This is why OFC supposedly pushed me out of there so fast, so that they could get me to the neurologist. I still haven't seen a primary care physician. All I've seen is their psychiatrist here. I'm not even seeing anybody who can refer me to a neurologist. Nothing has been done. Nothing has gotten better. So please tell me how this is any better than I was in OFC. At least in OFC, I was eating somewhat of a nutritional food. I mean, at least they substituted for my kosher diet. They used to send me to a neurologist. Of course, I haven't been in almost 2 years because of an idiotic doctor back at OFC. But they were, up until then, sending me to a neurologist. This was supposed to be a solution, and please, I don't understand how this is a solution for anybody. I don't understand how you set people up for failure by putting them into a position like this. You will allow me my religion. You will not force me to convert or starve me, because it's basically what you're doing. Oh yeah, I'm not starving. No, I'm just being nutritionally deprived. Yeah, I'm fat, I know. And one of the reasons I'm fat is because I'm not around nothing but carbs. You have no right. You are not above the law any more than I am. And this is my insurance policy, because I know no other way of doing this. And OFC, you knew this, and you set me up for failure, and this is on you. So if I do have to come back there because of my religion, trust me, you will not like me any better than you did before, because I will not make things easy on you after you've put me through this torture for 4 months. So I encourage every person who is involved in my case to rethink their actions, their words, and not tell me it's my religion or it's my conditional release. There is no reason, nothing in my papers saying that I have to compromise my religion in order to keep my conditional release, or I have to redo the program. That's not one of the conditions. Tomorrow I am going to go dress for war, I guess. I'm going to have my hair and makeup done. I'm going to be dressed nice, just in case somebody says anything. I'm going to act professional and let the games begin. Several friends on my side that have taken a stance with me. First of all, I want to say. None of this started until I started complaining about my diet, which that's why I did that one video. And it's a good thing I did, because I've got everything documented. Back in December, I asked, because they wanted me, you know, be able to go home for Christmas, see my family. I wanted to see my niece and nephew. They knew I had a baby niece and a toddler for a nephew, and then Curtis had his daughters. And knowing that, they arranged this trip. They talked to Curtis. They talked to Amy. Amy picked me up. Well, I saw something on on-demand court records, and it said order of no contact, you know, and I was like, crap, I wonder what this means, you know. I'm sitting there going, surely it doesn't mean I can't have no contact with kids, because, I mean, with my children, I get it, you know, that's been in place for 4.5 years. So I emailed the director. Well, I was flipping out first, upset. So the secretary had come into the RCF when I was kind of trying to figure this out on my tablet, and she said, email Tracy. She called Tracy, and she emailed Tracy. She said, email Tracy this, you know, this link and stuff. So I sent her the link. I put on there my concerns. I said, hey, you know, if this is a problem, I'm like, I can't go down there. Basically, I said, there's no point in me going, because everybody has kids. I'm not going to be able to see anybody. There's nowhere I can stay. And so, that was over the weekend, and then Monday morning, they told me, nope, don't worry about it. There's nothing, we don't have anything on that. And you go by what I say, you don't go by what they say. So, they arranged the trip. They talked to Curtis. They talked to Amy on the phone. Amy came and picked me up. Never had a problem. I stayed in Chickasha for a week. Saw Piper, Connor. Was with Evelyn, Katie, you know, and had an awesome time. Did great. Okay, here we are, February. It's been almost 2 months. Being Jewish here seems to be some kind of an issue, because I'm kosher, and the biggest part of that is because I made a promise to God. While I'm doing this, while I'm going through this, for these charges, I will remain kosher. I can't be vegetarian, which is what I would really like, because my protein levels in my blood always are really low. And so, I mean, I was on extra protein at OFC, and my protein still stayed low, normal range. But when I eat, you know, kosher, we eat, you know, regular, don't get extra protein or anything. It's really, really low. And then my body, I have so many scars from wounds not healing, bruises. I get sick, and I've been sick. I've been on 5 rounds of antibiotics in 2 months. And I got that abscess, and the dentist is like, how are you getting this? I don't get how you're getting this abscess. I'm not getting enough protein. My body cannot rebuild itself out of nothing. There are some days I'll go getting maybe 1 serving of protein in 2 days. I mean, it's ridiculous, and it's hit and miss. It is so hit and miss. Sometimes they'll give me a tiny little bitty sliver of processed cheese on 2 pieces of bread. Dinner, probably won't get nothing, maybe beans. Breakfast, absolutely no protein on the whole. All they ever do is sausage and bacon. They rarely do eggs. The employees, I love the employees. The ones in our administration, they're actually nice. And they try to work with me because they know it's not right. They know what their employers are doing is not right. Federal law states, in more places than one, that they have to provide this. It's been court cases over this, and the U.S. Supreme Court has gone and told them, you have to provide kosher meals if they're requested, if that's their religion. It is. I have documentation proving it. I have been kosher since I was in county jail. I was kosher when I was at OFC. I'm not just making this up. So, that's what started this. And all of a sudden, here comes this paper. Oh, I was in violation of my conditional release. Okay, how the hell has that happened? All of a sudden, here's this stupid no contact order that they claim didn't exist. I'm not supposed to be around children under 18. God only knows. I mean, I knew I couldn't be around my kids, and I was fine with that. But to be put under that kind of a restriction, that is the least therapeutic thing. You, the judges out there, did you realize that the state, you're supposed to have a therapeutic environment and setting? I did not harm anybody other than my own children. I have never had a record of harming children, doing anything to children. So why put that restriction on there? And why do these people, why are they allowed to not pull that up? Why did they let me go on a home visit with that being on there? I never had a chance to appeal this. I never had a chance to even see it. I still don't have the piece of paper. She refused to give me a copy. I don't have any papers. Nothing. So, if I go back to OFC, I go knowing I did nothing. Nothing at all. And I go with a lot of friends on my side that I'm sure will sit there and pick up a phone every day getting attorneys for civil rights. I am happy now, despite the circumstances, despite the fact that where I'm at, despite the fact that I probably may never see my kids again. I'm happy. And if I go back to OFC, be even happier. I have family and support system there, and I will be okay. Either way, I will be okay. I can tan at OFC as easily as I can tan here. I can write here. I mean, I'll miss my computer to where I can type, but I'm okay. So this is my suggestion. Since I'm kind of somewhere that has set me up for failure, as they have several other residents here, my suggestion is going to be, take me back to OFC. I'll pack up my stuff, my extra stuff I can't take to OFC with me. I've got friends that will pick it up for me. In fact, the person that I want to go stay with at the end of this, when I do get discharged, we're trying to make arrangements with that. Take me back to OFC. Put me up to the boards early in April. The Forensic Review Board, give me my discharge. Because I have not done a thing. I got over in these bungalows in less than 3 months. I was 3 days shy of being here for 3 months when I moved over to these bungalows. This is their last step. This is their independent living. And that's where I'm at. I haven't gotten in trouble for anything. And they just pulled that paper out from nowhere for no reason. When I'd asked them about it in December, and they claimed it didn't exist, but all of a sudden now that I'm saying something about my religion and kosher diet, and I've run out of money to buy my own food, now they're going to complain? Now they're going to say something's wrong? Now they're going to claim I broke conditional release? No, they broke conditional release. They didn't follow my papers. They didn't give me my papers. So, that's my suggestion. And I'll be happy either way. If they follow federal law and let me have my food, that'd be great. Gravy. I may not be able to see my niece and nephew again. That'll break my heart. But if I can get discharged, especially early, win-win for everybody. Get me out of here, or OFC, or whatever. I'll never be y'all's problem again. And I'm never going to hurt any kids. I was on Ambien. I'm not dangerous. Children have been my life since I was 12, taking care of kids. And there's quite a few of them that are in their 20s right now that would attest to the fact that I didn't hurt them. I love kids. And what happened with my children was a one-time thing. I was on Ambien. I had a psychotic reaction from Ambien. Do not punish me for the rest of my life for it. I'm not supposed to be punished. I'm an NGRI. State law says you're not supposed to punish me. There's no reason for this. I am not a repetitive offender. I didn't molest a child. I didn't do anything like that. So do not punish me. I'm supposed to be getting treatment, therapy. It's not very therapeutic to keep me from my family when most of them are kids. And I'd be around adults who could supervise me. Okay, today is Monday, February 22nd. And as of today, I got the stupid paper. No date on it. Additional rules and conditions or amendments to the above rules and conditions as ordered by the court. No contact whatsoever with victims in Grady County, Oklahoma case CF-11-71, AK and JK, or any child under age 18, regardless of whether contact is supervised. Any violation of this condition shall be immediately reported to the court and shall be grounds for revocation of conditional release. Okay, there's no date on this piece of paper. It's not signed by me. It has only got 2 signatures on it. There is no date on this anywhere. And today is the first day that I have actually had this in my possession. And my question is, so was I not guilty by reason of insanity? If I was under the state statutes, that means I'm not supposed to be punished. There's absolutely no reason for this. I can understand the no contact with my children. I can even understand possibly, you know, the supervision thing. I get that. But this is nothing but blatant disregard for the law. This is nothing but cruel and unusual punishment. This blocks me from any home visits, any visitations with relatives, because they all have children. This blocks me from my family. This blocks me from having any access to them. There's no point in this. This is ridiculous. Because what's the point in being out? If I'm that dangerous that I can't be around children, why am I on conditional release? And please tell me, where's the record? The criminal record that justifies this. And why? Was I not given notice? Nor was I appointed an attorney to have fought for me to say this is ridiculous. In any other court in this state, that's what would have happened. I was told if any provisions were made, I would have to read them and I would have to sign off on them as well. And I told them up front at OFC, if this provision were put in there, I didn't want the conditional release. I'd wait and go before the board again. And I would tell them, there's no reason for this. That, or I would have applied for a court-appointed attorney, and I would have gone to court to have this taken off or altered. Like I said, supervision I can understand. But to completely block me from my entire family when I've never been blocked from them. Every time I went on a home visit to Chickasha, sometimes it was 3 times in a year, I was around children. I was around my nephew. So, will you please explain to me, why is this warranted, other than to punish me? And the law states that we're not to be punished for something we had absolutely no control over. There was nobody to stand up and say this is wrong for me. Nobody. At all. And this has been on there for 4 months now. This is the first I've heard of it this past week. And I want to know why. I want to know why nobody in the Department of Mental Health fought for me. I want to know why I was not allowed a court-appointed attorney to fight for me. Because this is unwarranted. And I will say it again. I was in Chickasha for a week in December for Christmas. I was around children. Nothing happened. Supervised the whole time. There were adults there every time. Nothing happened. I do not have a record of doing anything except this one incident, and I was on Ambien. Please, if you can come up with another reason, feel free to tell me, because I'm not seeing it. And I'm tired of having to fight to actually get somewhere. I would just like once, just for something to go right and not go against me. So, could somebody please explain this to me? Or could somebody get me a lawyer that could actually come in and fight this for me? Because otherwise I'm going to do it on my own, like I've done everything else. Okay, I've been crying my eyes out all afternoon. So, there was nothing. I was never taken in, never talked to, never signed a damn thing. My signature's not on that piece of paper. So, didn't know when I came here, which is why I asked to go to Chickasha for Christmas, so I could see my niece that I'd never seen and see my nephew that I'd seen several times. Because, you're supposed to trust these jackasses with your life, because technically they have your life in their hands. You're supposed to put your needs and what's beneficial for you first. When I was doing research for my father's side of the family and for the genealogy, there was a little mention of Mary Queen of Scots, or Scottish. If I'm descended from her, I guess I go to the guillotine with a smile on my face, knowing that I did nothing. Knowing that it was a person who has a doctorate's degree in psychology who ultimately made this mistake. And that it was an administrator at a residential care facility that wanted to refuse my religious rights. And when I said something about it, she pulls the rug out from under me on a mistake that I didn't even make. That I asked her about specifically. Told her I had no idea about it. Please help me. Is this going to affect my visit? So if I go back to OFC, I'll go back smiling. I end up bawling my eyes out when I see the people I love. But you think that's a punishment. No, the punishment is the fact that you've put a red mark on my record that I don't deserve. You've taken my life in your hands and you have jeopardized it. You've jeopardized my future. And for what? Because I don't see what I did wrong. All I did was demand that my right to my religion be honored as I honor yours. I would never tell somebody their religion was stupid, or that they had to choose their religion or to eat. That's inhumane. And it's wrong. And it's not Christian. I have seen so much wrong at this residential care facility in the past 5 months. I've lived through 34 years of my life, never offered drugs of any kind. When I get here, I offered them all the time. Never did them. Don't want to. I know the reaction I have off of Ambien and Topamax and Effexor and Lamictal. You think I'm going to try illegal drugs? No. You can test me. Hair sample even. Go right ahead. I know I have done everything right in these past 5 months. There is not one thing that I have done that was against any rules or against my conditional release that I knew of. And as I said, I will go down fighting tooth and nail. And I have some tricks up my sleeve. And if you want to Facebook stalk me and YouTube stalk me, go right ahead. Because I'm doing nothing wrong but telling the truth. And if that's wrong, you need to reevaluate your morals, your integrity. You need to reevaluate your life. And you need to know that there is such a thing as karma. No one good deed goes unpunished, as no bad deed goes unpunished. There will come a day, and I will come out of this victorious at some point. It's 5 years from now, oh well. Because I overcome. I'm strong. I may have tears. I may have a kind heart. But I am as strong as steel, and you can't break me. You haven't in 5 years. You're not going to now. I have been through hell and back, and I have lived to tell about it. Anything you do, cannot hold a candle to what I've been through and the demons I've fought inside of me. So, Facebook stalkers from OFC or Meadowbrook, there you go. Believe me, it's not over. It won't be over. Believe me. I have so many people on my side. You will sit there and you will wish you hadn't even started it or crossed me. You can take that to the bank, as my grandpa would say. So, this is the last time I have a YouTube video or a Facebook message or whatever. I'll go to my execution day with a smile. And at least I have family and friends at OFC that I can be around. And they are family, and you do not get to define me who is or is not family. That's my decision. Blood does not equate family. Love does. To see everybody anyway, so you know, just makes it easier on my part here. After all, I mean, I was growing my hair out, it's down to my butt almost, and I refuse to cut it till I see somebody. I guess you've just given me the right to get a haircut, so that's all you've done. You haven't hurt me. You can't hurt me. There's only one person who can. They never would. So, know that. Know that you can never hurt me. You can't bring me down. You can't slow me down. You may think you can, but you can't. Because I'll come back swinging. I'm a phoenix. I'm born from fire. You think I can't handle a little more? That it will not make my wings brighter and broader and make me soar higher? You think that a little bit of this isn't gonna just make me a hell of a lot stronger and you a lot weaker? You're wrong. Remember, I am writing a book. Comeuppance. Whether it's a year from now or 5 years from now, take your pick, because it's gonna happen. You can just drop all this now. I'll be civil. You'll be civil. We'll just get on like friends until July. If you want to keep it to doing this, just know that I won't be the one who comes out with egg on my face. Bye. You're telling me I'm not being punished now. I have my friend coming from Chickasha who has no children. I can go anywhere in LaFleur County without having to have the judge's permission. Well, guess what? They're not letting me. They're not letting me go anywhere but how, and there is nothing in how. There is a Dollar General, and there are 2 convenience stores, one of which the people who own this place owns. So, tell me again I'm not being punished for requesting a kosher diet. No, they're claiming, oh no, until we get it clarified. How can you get it clarified more? Well, we don't want to get in trouble. This isn't just you. This is us. Really? Then why the hell am I the only one in trouble for December? Why aren't y'all in trouble? Why isn't Tracy in trouble? Well, it's between you and Tracy. Oh, really? No, that's your director. It's on her. This is on OFC. This is on Meadowbrook. This is not on me. And it's going to be funny when it all comes out. Okay, so I'm waiting for meds. Waiting for the court, whatever, the attorney to call me back. Don't know when I'm going back to OFC. If I'm going back to OFC, I don't know anything. But I do want to know this. Why are there no boarding homes or residential care facilities specifically for NGRI patients coming out of OFC? If you're going to push us through that step, you're going to keep us from having a life, if you're going to keep us from our families, if you're going to keep us, you know, from moving on, you're claiming we have freedom, you're claiming, you know, this is a step out. It's not a step out. You put us in these privately run facilities that can run it any way they want to, that are not, refuse to follow state and federal law. You are setting us up for failure. You're putting us in these places that don't know what a specific NGRI case is, does, means, pertains to any kind of a conditional release plan. You're setting us up for failure. You have put me in a position to where I've been pushed into a corner. I have people that refuse to follow my federal rights, my civil rights. I'm discriminated against for my religion. I'm discriminated against for my disability. I have debilitating migraines. I've had pseudotumor cerebri in the past. I've had to have multiple spinal taps to relieve the fluid pressure on my brain. These people want to hold that against me. If I miss group, oh my gosh, you would think that I freaking killed somebody. These migraines are half the reason I got Social Security in the first place, and that was before the car accident. So don't tell me I don't have a disability. Migraines are classified under the Americans with Disabilities Act as a disease that they protect. So trying to bring up in court that I'm not in group or claiming I'm sporadically at group when I only miss a day every other week or maybe 3 days, 4 days a month, if that, when I have a disability that is covered under the Americans with Disabilities Act, counting that against me just because you want me out of here because I stood up for my civil rights and I turned you into HUD and HUD is investigating you, and because turning me in for violating my conditional release that was your fault didn't work, so now we're going to go lie. Now we're going to go violate more rights. Now we're going to have a doctor who's not even a psychologist or a psychiatrist. Yes, again, why are there no boarding homes just for NGRI patients? I haven't seen a psychiatrist or a psychologist since I left OFC. This place is privately run, privately owned. They do it their way. They do what they want when they want to. It's family run. I mean family. The doctor is family with the owners. The therapist is family with the owners. So please tell me how that's not a conflict of interest in this case. And please explain to me how, again, they can violate rights. They can have a patient blatantly tell them, do not mess with my meds, leave my meds alone, wait till I go to a neurologist. and then go ahead and do it, and then count that against you and claim you're refusing all of your medications just because you're refusing the medication that this doctor decided he was going to just do. It is about 8 a.m. July 26th. I have my forensic review board today. I feel really weird because I've got makeup on and I haven't worn makeup in months. So, trying to breathe and trying to calm myself down. I've been up since 5. Didn't get sleep until probably after 1, almost 2. Because I couldn't sleep. I'm nervous as hell. I worked on these pictures and stuff. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to try to show them. I'm going to go through the steps. I'm going to go through the changes. I'm going to show them how I've seen Connor since 2013. I'm going to show them how positive the visit was that I'm getting in trouble for. The gloves are coming off. I've been nice. I've kept the videos to a minimum until now. Now, since this weekend, since Tracy and Donna have written up employees who have been compassionate and kind and know that it's wrong that what they're doing to me. So they've written them up for giving me cheese sandwiches or alternatives to things that are not kosher. Since they've written them up, gotten them in trouble. Gloves are off. I will put out in videos without any hesitation now. I don't care. This is to the Department of Mental Health. I don't care if there's another boarding home that won't take me because of the videos. I'm not planning on going to another boarding home or residential care facility. I want a discharge. Straight from OFC. Flat out, that's it. It's new board, they didn't listen. Of course, I was in there a little over 5 minutes, less than 10 minutes, I think, total. I think maybe Amy got to talk for a minute or two. Totally unreceptive to anything. I shouldn't have even worked on doing those pictures. They didn't even want to look at it. They didn't want to hear anything. Every time I tried to say anything, well, we don't have time. We don't have time. They don't have time to sit and discuss my future. I'm going to spill every little secret of OFC. And here. Above all, let's start with the story. The true story. That the director, Tracy Elder, had prescription medications that were painkillers that weren't hers at all. They were an employee's husband who had passed away. Squirreled away in her desk. She squirrels everything away in that office. It's a hoarding hazard in that office. You can't hardly walk through it. Everybody's mail who's disappeared, I guarantee you, it's somewhere in that avalanche of an office. But that does not give an excuse. It's not an excuse. You don't hoard somebody's deceased husband's pills. You properly dispose of them. You don't hoard them and hide them in your office unlocked for a patient to break in. I will not say which patient did it, but I do know who it is. I do know what they said, that they found a bunch of cash squirreled away. I do know that they found gun holster. Not sure about the gun. But morphine. A whole big bottle of morphine. That never should have been in that office, especially since it wasn't clients. It wasn't an employee. It was an employee's deceased husband who died over a year ago. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2, they're selling tobacco out of the office. I think you have to have a license for that. I don't think that, since it's not B&B, which is their convenience store they own a lot of shit. I don't think that gives them a license to sell tobacco at Meadowbrook Day Treatment. Don't get me wrong, I just don't think that's right. Okay, number 3. They are using people's mental illness to kick them out. They can't do that. There are so many things, there are so many rights, so many laws that they're breaking. If you have money on the books, or if you smoke and you want your cigarettes, you have to go to their day treatment program, which they get paid for. They don't get paid for us if we're not up there. And it's probably quite a sizable amount. Because they don't get paid a hell of a lot for us at the RCF, I'm thinking. Because I know I only get $650 for Social Security. And by the time they take that Medicare Part B, what the freaking heck ever, $200 a month, it's like $450. So that's not nothing. I'm best guessing from DHS, probably get about $300 in food stamps for me. Probably the $40 that I would have gotten through DHS in cash so I could get my prescriptions and stuff. They get that. I get $27 a month. I don't get to eat a lot of the food that they get my food stamps for. I don't get to eat a lot of the commodities that they would get for me. So I guess granted overall. And plus I don't have a lot of medication. No psychiatric medication other than I have an anti-anxiety that I take PRN. Everything's migraines and it's not that much. There's some people here that are about 30 pills, but me it's maybe 10, and it's all migraine prevention or water retention or back pain or just my anxiety. I do have a PRN for that. But that's not enough to cover this. I buy my own hygienes because I'm allergic to a lot of the crap they buy. They spend maybe $5 a month per patient on hygienes. Other boarding homes, residential care facilities give $50 for each resident so they can buy their hygienes and everything else. So technically we're $31. Where's the other $19? 32 maybe. We only get 2 razors for an entire month. And they're those cheap, freaking razors that you can't use more than once or twice. So, and I know at OFC, we got 2 of them each time we shaved. We could shave twice a week. That's 4 per week. So that's 16 a month. 2 a month. Cheap ass deodorant that doesn't work worth a crap from the Dollar Tree. Irish Spring soap. That's 2 for $1 at the Dollar Tree. Pepsodent toothpaste is $1. VO5 shampoo, which I'm allergic to. I'm allergic to a lot of stuff. No conditioner, no lotion, nothing. No face wash, no nothing. I want my $50. I buy my own goddamn hygienes. I buy my own laundry detergent because I'm allergic to a lot of them, and I'm not going to go through the hell I went through at OFC breaking out from their detergents. I had to go on steroids. Me and steroids don't mix. So, this is a money-making scheme, period. That's all it is. We're cattle. We are cattle, and they will cut anything they can cut just to make the extra penny. Enough is enough. Somebody needs to investigate these places. End of story. Sorry. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. Okay, so that's that part. Also the mail. You can also, if you don't go to their stupid ass group, if you're sick, which I had an abscess, you don't go to their group, you don't get your mail. You don't go all day till 3:45. You don't get your mail. You don't get your money. You don't get your cigarettes if you smoke. You don't get diddly squat shit. If you miss one day out of the week, you don't even get to go to the store. One day. If you're running a temperature, if you're sicker than a dog, if you have an abscess to where your whole jaw feels like it's on fire, you don't get to go to the store. You miss out. Because, oh my God, you should have been there. I was sick. Bite me. Okay, that's that part of the rant. These people don't know they have rights. Apparently, I'm being punished for letting them know they have rights. I'm being punished for standing up for those who don't stand up. I'm being punished for being a person who was very kind to several people who still is. I'm being punished because I'm speaking the truth. Being punished because I'm bringing to their attention laws they are breaking. I am being punished for the simple fact that I am Jewish. And I stood up and said, it is not right for you to treat me in this manner. It is not right for you to deny me my religious rights. It's not right for you to force me into conversion by starvation. That's medieval. That's basically what the freaking idiots did when they came over to America here with the Indians. I mean, lock them up and stuff and not feed them, not give them clothes or whatever. It should not be happening in 2016. We should have learned by now. Religious discrimination, bigotry has gone on long enough. I believe in the same God you do. I should be accorded the exact same respect. I eat kosher, so what? I don't complain because you eat pig. I don't sit there and look at your religious beliefs and say you celebrate a holiday. But instead of celebrating what it was originally for, no, you worship a God. You break a commandment. You worship a God on Jesus' birthday. Santa Claus is no better than a God. Because he's taken over Christmas, and Christmas is about Jesus. Yeshua. Not Santa. Not presents. Not commercialization, but Jesus' birth. Let's start back talking about Easter. Isn't that about the crucifixion? Why do we have bunnies and eggs? And bunnies don't crap eggs out their butt. I mean, come on. I don't bring this shit up to you and shove it in your face and tell you can't eat. Unless you decide to tell me that Santa Claus is all about Christmas and the Easter Bunny rules Easter. I don't do that to you. Now this has kind of gone off track. I just kind of wanted to vent because I've been basically taking Ativan around the clock through most of this. And I'm still angry and I'm still very anxious. I have some horrible, 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 horrible anxiety out of this. And I am so banking up my paybacks. Because there's going to be videos about here, and there's going to be videos about OFC. If I burn, you burn with me. Forensic Review Board letter came today. They recommend no changes. No discharge. No recommendations to move me. I'm not going to put up with this. Sorry. I'm not doing it. HUD has decided that they don't have jurisdiction over food. Violating my civil rights. They're violating postal rights. They're treating us inhumanely. I am not going to live like this. So, I am going to take the suspension. I have court the 29th. I'm going to think about it until then. Before I really make my decision, email my lawyer, but I can't live like this. I'm hungry. I'm tired. I'm in pain. I'm in constant pain. I have my disability held against me constantly. I'm in a facility with people with disabilities, and yet they violate the Americans with Disabilities Act. Complain. If I miss from a migraine, I was up there all day today with a freaking migraine. I literally can't do this anymore. If this is conditional release, I don't want it. I'm gonna go back to OFC, and This is going to be as pleasant of an experience as possible for me, staff, administration, what have you, but this is the thing. Things need to change. You know that, I know that, and I do know from the people I've talked to that you're trying, some of you. But it's not enough. Sorry, it's not. Taking away stamps because of budget cuts. I'm sorry, Governor Fallon, you're getting your dang reflecting pool, you're getting your renovations to the stupid Capitol. I really think you can afford 2 stamps a week for people at OFC. I really think you can afford 5 stamps a week for the whole month before Christmas for Christmas cards. Canteen. Let's talk canteen. Cutting back to 3 days a week. It's ludicrous. I'm sorry. You don't offer anything in the canteen I can even have. But to deny that being a positive reinforcement thing for any of the patients there, 3 days a week, gone from 6. And also, the way you do your canteen, that's ridiculous. That's our money that buys it. Our money. There should not be a lack of canteen items. There should not be... I'm sorry, okay. One thing I've really been ticked off about the whole time I was at OFC, I have severe migraines. One of the things you're supposed to stay away from is artificial sweeteners of any kind, because they really aggravate it or cause them. There's not hardly a dang thing in that canteen I can have because of this, because of diabetics. Well, we can't discriminate against diabetics. Well, guess what? Americans with Disabilities Act covers migraines. It's a protected disease. You're discriminating against me. So, you need to get some regular pop, some Dr. Pepper, not Diet Dr. Pepper. You need to get some stuff that I can actually have, candy-wise. All this sugar-free stuff is good and fine. You know what? You know who your diabetics are. You can tell them you can't have that. You need to offer me something because you're violating right there. Okay, so here we are, about a week and a half away from my hearing on July 18th. I apologize for the video quality. It's going to be sucky because I'm trying to keep my data plan thing low so I can upload it so people can watch it. Okay, let me read you this one paper. This is from it's from May 31st to set the hearing for the 21st of June. Here comes now Kara Bacon, Assistant District Attorney, and moves this honorable court to revoke the order of conditional release. In support thereof, the state sets forth the following. The defendant was charged with count 1, child abuse by injury, and count 2, child abuse by injury by the District Court of Grady County, case number blah blah blah, on April 7, 2011. The court issued an order on the 9th day of March 2012, finding the defendant not guilty by reason of insanity to the aforementioned charges, and thereafter the defendant was committed to the care, custody, and control of the Oklahoma Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. On the 31st day of May 2012, the court issued another order considering the defendant's dangerousness to the public. In his order, the court found that the defendant is presently a danger to the public peace or safety as defined by Section 1103, Title 43A of the Oklahoma State Statutes, and should remain in the custody of the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse. Following the Forensic Review Board meeting on July 29, 2015, the defendant was recommended for conditional release to Meadowbrook Residential Care Facility in Howe, Oklahoma. The state of Oklahoma requested additional conditions, which were incorporated into the conditional release plan, which was filed with this court on December 22, 2015. The additional conditions were as followed. No contact whatsoever with victims in Grady County court case, blah, 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 AK and JK, or any child under the age of 18, regardless of whether contact is supervised. Any violation of this condition shall be immediately reported to the court and shall be grounds for revocation of conditional release. In a letter dated March 1st, 2016, Kevin Finley of the Oklahoma Forensic Center notified this court of a violation of the defendant's conditional release. Mr. Finley's letter details that over the holidays, the defendant was in contact with young children. Attached to the letter are photos of the defendant with these children, which were uploaded on a social media site. Let's go over that real quick. At OFC, it is a violation of their policy and a violation of HIPAA for anybody at OFC to even look at my Facebook. Anybody. It is a violation of HIPAA for them to get a phone call from anybody on the outside that does not have a paper for me saying that I am allowing them to tell them anything or say anything to them. It's a violation of HIPAA. Let's go on. Therefore, the defendant has violated the terms and conditions of his conditional release. His, I'm a her. And the state of Oklahoma respectfully requests her immediate detention. Yeah, immediate detention. Blah, 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 blah. Wherefore, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Wherefore, the state of Oklahoma respectfully requests that this honorable court revoke the order of conditional release, order immediate detention, blah, 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 blah. Certificate of delivery, March 7th, 2016. Okay, so I file everything. HUD goes through everything. I turned everything in like in April because it took a process. HUD is investigating this facility for their violations of my civil rights because they're violating the Civil Rights Act by not allowing me my kosher diet. Okay, this is May. Okay, now let me tell you something I did. And I did it to protect myself because once they started claiming I violated my conditional release, I had an email I sent to this director here asking her because her secretary told me to send it, gave me the email address and everything. I sent an email saying, what am I supposed to do? Because I found something on my on-demand court records, a letter of no contact from the DA. I said, what is this? I don't know what it is. I don't have it. I have no record of it. Will you tell me what this is? Will you please? Can I still go on my visit? Is this no contact with my kids? I thought that was established. There's no contact with all kids. What is this? She knew I wanted to go to see my niece and nephew. She knew. That's the whole reason for the visit. The whole reason. My niece was born in August. She ended up having surgery in December. I wanted to see my niece. I'd seen my nephew since he was 10 months old. I'd been on several visits to my grandmother's because of her health was deteriorating, and I had several emergency visits to go see her. I saw family. I saw my sister. I saw my nephew from the time he was 10 months old. There was no issue. I'm not dangerous. I'm not dangerous to anybody. I've proven that. But, again, let's go back to March, April. I had no proof that Tracy answered my email or anything. So, since it was verbally, she answered me and told me I was fine. I could go. She had no papers on it. She had nothing on it. So, therefore, if she didn't have anything signed by the judge, I could go on my visit. I began recording. I specifically looked up state laws. I remembered from previous experiences that it is legal to record a conversation in the state of Oklahoma as long as one party is knowledgeable to this conversation. The only conversations I recorded were conversations with the owner's wife, who was my therapist, and the owner's brother-in-law, who was the doctor. The reason I recorded one with him is because he's an arrogant little... And he put me on medications without my knowledge. Back in December, he put me back on Topamax. That gives me very high anxiety and irritability. I'm sitting there in December for 3 weeks going, what the hell is wrong with me? Asking what this extra meta is in my cup. I'm getting told it's an allergy pill. It was Topamax. I went off of Topamax almost 4 years ago because it was making me really irritable. It was really, really, I feel like just like Jekyll and Hyde thing. And I had this with a bunch of medications, actually, and depressants depress me. I mean, and anxiety, some of them really make me anxious. So I started recording him because, again, this is a part of my conditional release. If I refuse medications, oh my God, I'm going to lose it. Okay. So after they get the letters from HUD, I've recorded all this stuff. They found out about it because I've turned it into HUD. They're retaliating against me. I have this, because I recorded conversations in which Jennifer was telling me, oh, well, now you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't go with your friend, you can't have any overnight visits, even to Florida County, if there aren't kids involved. You can't do this, that, or the other, all because I turned them in. And they turned me in for doing something that was their fault. So then I was being punished. And plus, I got her to say on recording that this was a private facility. They don't have to follow federal law. So yeah, HUD's investigators have those. I have severe migraines. I had a car accident. I have spinotumor cerebri, where fluid pressure builds up in my brain. You guys have been through this with me. I've had how many spinal taps? They're holding that against me. So she put in this letter that I recorded staff. The counselors and the doctor were refusing services. The only one refusing services at this point was the doctor, because he's an arrogant little bastard. And that I was not going to group and was not taking my routine medications. Lies. All lies. So this is what the court filed on the 24th or something. Anyway, they supplemented it. Okay, it comes now, blah, 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 blah. In addition to the allegations contained in the motion to revoke conditional release March 7th, the state follows, blah, blah, blah. The defendant was ordered as a condition of a release to participate in outpatient treatment through Meadowbrook outpatient treatment. The defendant has not attended outpatient treatment as ordered. That the defendant has recorded conversations between herself and counselors as well as herself and doctors, resulting in the discontinuation of services previously provided by counselors and doctors. And the defendant has refused to prescribe medication on a routine basis. And again, we go through, let's pull her. Well, guess what? Lies. Apparently, the DA claims that if they revoke my conditional release, it's forever. I go back to OFC for life. And this is what I think it is. I think the DA is trying to strong-arm me, threaten us, because they know they're fucked. I deserve a discharge. I have far proven that I deserve one. Not violent. I'm not a danger to myself or others. I'm not violent one bit. I have been in pain. Massive amounts of pain for months now with these migraines. I haven't done anything. I am literally in as much pain right now as I was 5 years ago. If it weren't for relaxation techniques and my support system, I really don't know what I'd do. But that's what I have. That's the huge difference between now and 5 years ago. I can cope better. I have the coping skills. I know what I'm doing. I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm not going to hurt anybody else. I'm not going to go after the kids. I love my children. I love my children so much that I accepted this. I accepted this unendable torture so that they wouldn't have to testify in court. I've accepted the fact that I don't want to hurt them any more than they've already been hurt. If that means never contacting them again. I accept that because I love them and I don't want to hurt them. I never wanted to hurt them. I never want to hurt them again. I love them. I really love them. But I'm not going to try to contact them. I don't want to deal with Warren. I don't. If there's anything positive that's come out of all this is I don't have to deal with Warren. So if I go back for life. Okay, I'm sitting here cooling off from possibly my last walk to the post office. I had to mail a couple of cards to some people. This is our little bitty post office here, see? Yeah, not a whole lot. It's open maybe 3 hours a day, an hour on Saturday. But anyway, that's the fire station out there, the cool fire truck. But papers been filed. I'm going back. So I guess if you want to talk to me, call the number on the Facebook page. Write me at the address on there. Miss everybody. I don't know what else to say. I can't do this. I can't. can't deal with these people, the way they're treating me. This is just, it's wrong. Nobody should expect me to have to deal with this. It was wrong from the beginning. OFC never should have done this to me. Maybe they'll learn the lesson and they'll actually give me a chance and I'll get discharged, because there's not going to be any other way of doing this, because I'm not going to be abused again. I'm not going to be tortured. I'm not going to have my rights violated, especially not my civil rights that federal law protect. You're not putting me in this situation again. So get a discharge plan together and we'll talk, because that is in my court papers. Otherwise, I guess get ready to deal with me for a while, because I'm not doing this again. To all my friends, see you around. Call me, write me. And everybody at OFC, I'll see you soon.